Welcome to a Thanksgiving Eve edition of our midweek All-22 Coaches Breakdown with Jay Fiedler. I'm Jason Sarney. And Jay, let's talk a little bit about and go right into it, what you noticed about Tua Tagovailoa at Denver. Now that we have the Coaches 22, a lot's coming out. You're going to talk specifically about that rolling out to the right and how you think there could be a little discomfort from that hip injury.
Yeah, well, we had touched base on it in past episodes. Number one, that the offense needs to just expand and keep the defenses honest by rolling Tua out to his left, and that'll help, open up the opportunities to get him back out to, rolling to his right, and that'll open up the opportunities to get him back out to his left side, which is, the strength in his game is rolling out to the left and throwing on the move, going that way. But one of the things that I saw from the Denver game, just in my, technical eye was I think he might still be a little bit tight from the hip surgery and his core and his rotation. And with that, I wanted to bring in an expert who looks at these things, who understands injuries, and can watch the film with us to really analyze what's going on with the recovery, with the rehab, where Tua might be standing right now, what he still needs to do to get back to 100%. So I called up my good friend, the pro football doc, Dr. David Chao. He's a longtime NFL team doctor. He was a team doctor for the San Diego Chargers for about 16, 17 years. And he runs a great podcast, website, a great resource for FanDuel, for Outkick.com, and for his own ProFootball.com. And I want to welcome in Dr. David Chao. David, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me, Jay. And a little casual this sort of weird Thanksgiving week. I did find a hiding place away from the kids, so hopefully, but it's actually in their hallway and room. You see the kids' books in the background, but at least I'm away from the dog and the kids right now.
That's all right. You could just lie to everyone and tell them it's your medical reference books back there. We can't really see the titles.
They're a little thin for that. We're in a new home, pandemic home, to give the kids some more room, and I don't have everything set up yet, so this should work.
Okay, well, before we kind of get into a little bit of the film analysis, I want to just, I want you to just touch base on the injury that Tua had in Alabama. What that entailed, what the prognosis for recovery was, and where you think he's at right now.
Sure. And for those who don't know, I mean, I did a lot of film study. So, Jay, when I would see a guy on the field, on the sideline, in the locker room, the day after the game in an MRI, I realized that, look, everyone in the building on Monday looks at film. And there were occasions when I talked to a player and said, well, did you figure out what happened to your knee? I'm not sure. I still have to go look at film. And I would have about 45 minutes between the training room and meeting with the GM. So I'd go to the video room with the head athletic trainer and just started looking at video. Why? I don't know. I mean, everyone in the building looks at video. And it was kind of like weirdly Jeopardy, right? I knew the answer because I examined him and had the MRI, but what was the question, right? What was the video? And so now what I do for the last few years, pro football doc and so forth, is I look at video to try and get to the answer. And it's not 100%, it's 95% accurate. But look, if a listener goes to the doctor and says, I was playing basketball and a guy hit my knee on the outside, and I hurt my knee. The doctor says, what happened? And he said, well, I landed for a rebound. The guy hit me on the outside. My knee buckled this way. It's kind of the video, and that's kind of what I do. As far as Tua was concerned, I actually don't watch a lot of college football because I watch between Thursday night, all the games on Sunday, Monday night. I mean, I'm trying to stay married and, whatever. So my joke to my wife is I watch the same amount of sports I always did, but I just watch NFL now. I don't watch the other sports to make up for it. So I still remember one of my ProFootball.guys, because we have that business and so forth now,
Yep.
with the website, with the Field View Injury Index, and it's free for Jay Fiedler followers. Just go and log in; it's free. We're really developing it out, and I got my phone started to blow up from NFL reporters and texts and whatever, and somebody sent me the video, my assistant, and literally it was video from Twitter on my cell phone. And I look and go, oh shoot, he dislocated his hip, right? And taken off. And so we kind of knew fracture dislocation of the hip. And from that moment, I was saying, look, assuming there's no avascular necrosis, the hip injury, the hip dislocation did not end Bo Jackson's career. The avascular necrosis, the lack of blood flow, ended his career. So I said from the get-go, as long as Tua doesn't have that, he'll be okay. And as draft came up, my party line was, if Tua was the consensus #1 pick overall before the hip, he shouldn't fall out of the top 10. He should still be near the top. Now, if you want to argue Joe Burrow leapfrogged him based on performance, yeah, sure, absolutely. And sure enough, the Dolphins took him at 5. And then the next iteration all along, as you know, Jay, I've said that, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, the game of football is not that easy. It's not that easy to sign with a new team, to be an NFL vet, sign with a new team, and just boom, playbook. And it's even harder for a college guy. So what I said all along is it wasn't the hip that was going to prevent Tua from starting week 1. It was the college transition without an off-season program, with a very limited training camp. And, that's just really hard. And which is why, as you know, he starts now after the bye where he gets a chance to get some reps. So overall, the hip hasn't been the limiting factor. But what you're bringing up is what I've been saying, the hip is healthy and he can play. And what you're trying to point out is the hip 100%, right? And that's a different story.
Look, I know as a quarterback, there are times, you go out with certain injuries and technically and physically you could perform, but you're not 100% in everything that you could do. So it's just a little bit off, and the great athletes are the ones that are able to make those adjustments. Okay, when your technique, in rotating your hips or in getting a full, range of motion in your shoulder or whatever it is, you compensate for that. And the great athletes are the ones that can compensate and still perform. Okay, but my thesis, in watching Tua is, he's not 100%, so he has to come up with a little compensation, which, I think he'll, he's, a tremendous athlete. He's able to do, but, let's speak the truth here about where he's at in his rehab and recovery.
I think that's a fair point. One of the things I always say, I would assume you'll agree with this, Jay, certainly by week 12, 85% is a good week in the NFL.
Yes.
and to me, I always say, people are like, oh, but that team only has 3 players on the injury report. I'm like, if you tell me 3 doctors are traveling minimum 4 athletic trainers and 5 are traveling to take care of 3 players, you're joking yourself. I mean, like, there's a lot more going on than that. And I'm not saying teams are cheating, but 85% is a good week now. And, obviously the injury report stuff is beyond bumps and bruises. And look, do I think Tua is 100%? Now, bear in mind, I'm the one who said he should be fine. He's draftable. The concern is, will he have a 10, 12, 15-year career as arthritis sets in? Can he get through a first contract? Absolutely. So during the draft, I was saying take Tua if you have football value. But on the other side, you have to be honest, is Tua 100%? I would have to say no way. I mean, is a brand new car that's in a major car accident, that's fixed, that runs well, is it brand new again? Obviously not. I mean, he had a major injury to his hip. Is he brand new 100%? No. Could he be, is he at 95, 98, or 87 in terms of, depends on for what, range of motion, this, that, the other. And I think that's what you're pointing out. So I'm not slinging
Yeah, I mean,
mud at
I
the
think there's
Dolphins.
no, yeah, I mean, I think there's no doubt, from a strength, from a structural standpoint, being able to take the hit, being able to run, being able to move and avoid pressure and avoid, defense. I think the hips, as good as it's going to be is, as good as
Yes, he's not going to redislocate. He is
right.
not going to redislocate.
Exactly. Exactly. For me now, just, knowing what I've gone through, with certain rehabs, whether, I did have hip surgeries, albeit not quite as extensive as what he went through. But I know getting that range of motion back is a process, and it takes time. And, the bigger the injury, the more, that fine-tuned range of motion, the longer it takes. And just touch base on that, where that kind of injury,
No question.
can you get full range of motion back in a year? Could he possibly, maybe if he gets through this season healthy and has a full off season, to continue his process, to continue developing, physically around that hip, is that something that he can get back to his pre-injury range of motion?
Well, here's what I would have to say. That, first of all, recovery is not a light switch. It's
Right.
not, 5 months and 29 days you can't, and 6 months, voila, you can do it all. It's very gradual. And the final 5 or 10% takes longer than the first 50% or the first 75% in terms of recovery. The fine points of recovery take a lot longer. And I think that's where Tua's in right now. Can he get better? Hopefully, maybe. Will he get to 100%? Maybe not. But, 95% of Tua is pretty darn good, right? And it's adjustments. Since this is Dolphins, let's take a look at Dolphins historically. Dolphins fans probably remember Dan Marino at the end of his career after that Achilles. Was he the same? No way. He had a brace on his ankle there supporting it. He had 1 foot back to help him get out from underneath the center. He wasn't the same, but he made the adjustments to make it work.
Right.
Was that 100% Dan Marino? No way, right? But, Dolphins fans can remember that. And for the young ones, you can look up film. I mean, he coming out from under center, he was a little bit of a hot mess, but I'd want him as my quarterback, right? I mean, so different situations. And Tua, and I'm flattered, Jay, because first of all, I always take your call and whatever, but I was like, wow, you want me to look at film? You're a football guy, you want me to look at film? I'm just a doctor, Okay, I'll look at film and have some fun and look at this stuff. So yeah, it was fun. I went back and looked at some of the plays, and I see what you're talking about, and in terms of the questions that you raise.
Okay, let's just go through. I actually got it pulled up right here. The first time that he did run the bootleg out to the right side, and this was the interception that was called back off of the penalty from last game. Now, I don't think the interception was caused by any range of motion issues. I think it was more the pressure on him, at the point of attack when he was releasing the ball, but I want to just kind of go through and watch, as he makes his turn and gets his shoulders squared back downfield, what I saw and in him was, some tightness in that his lower body was kind of swinging around as he made that turn. He wasn't as fluid as you see, most quarterbacks when they do move to their non-dominant side. So, let's just go through and I'll slow it down as we get to his turn here. Okay, so he comes off the play fake. He gets around, and like we teach our quarterbacks, get that front shoulder turned around. When he does that, it looks like his feet kind of, swing out from underneath him. And that's kind of what I saw, that showed me, that getting that torque in the upper body was affecting his lower body getting around. Now, again, I think he ducked away from from pressure, and the ball ended up low instead of getting up over the top of Simmons. I'm sorry. Simmons was able to get his hand on it and get the interception. Was not caused by his tightness, but just something that we've looked at and we've that I've looked at and I've seen, and just like I said, wanted to get a professional medical opinion in, to look at the video and see the same thing.
Well, look, there's no question that it's harder to roll the opposite way and throw. Okay. Yeah. And so we all know that it's harder, and some do it better than others. And I haven't studied enough Tua film going back to college to know what his pattern is. There's no question, as you point out this play, that something is off. Now, is it the hip and his lack of motion? Is it the fact that he still mentally favors it? For example, one of the things we do for people after an ACL is teach them how to walk and not limp and not favor it. And mentally, because you've been doing it for a while, you have to break that habit again. And is it that? Is it just the pattern? Is it that his hip can't? Is it the pattern that he's used to that he needs to break? Does he need to do more rehab? Or is it just mechanics? Or is it just mentally not fully trusting it? Or is it the speed of the NFL where he got surprised how quickly the guy came upon him? Clearly, and I'm not trying to be a quarterback guru, the mechanics are off there. One of the things I would say for sure is he doesn't step into the throw, right? And because of the on-rusher. And that changes your accuracy tremendously. So the question is why? I think everyone would say the mechanics aren't great on that play. Now, why is the question? Is it mental? Is it the speed of the game? Is it, getting used to rolling out that way? Or is it the hip? Or is it the pattern that he's got used to? That's the question mark. So yeah. I can't from this say that his problem on that play is due to his right hip that was dislocated.
And I agree. I don't think the end result was, right. a factor of, the hip not being 100% or his mobility not being
right. But I can say, based on that play, that you can't tell me that play does not prove to me that his hip is 100% because he doesn't really rotate it. That doesn't mean doesn't have the range of motion. But on that play, he doesn't demonstrate full range of motion on the hip. The question is why, right? Whether he can and just didn't do it, or whether he can't until you examine him, hard to say.
Yeah, and I agree, and it's something I've tried looking back at some of his Alabama highlights as well, and later on in the show I'm going to make a comparison from one of the plays in this game to a previous play as well in terms of pocket movement. But when you look at his Alabama highlight film, I couldn't find one play where he was rolling out to his right. So there's no comparison to go by from it. This was just kind of my trained eye and working with hundreds of quarterbacks over the years. When you see guys roll out to their non-dominant side, there's a fluidity in guys that have that core range of motion, and and you could see, not that guys struggle, but it looks a little bit harder for them to get their full body rotated around and get their front shoulder down to their target downfield for guys that are a little bit tighter in their core.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then actually just going to pull up the other play that he rolls out that I think you took a look at as well. Okay, and this is a completion that he had to Malcolm Perry out in the flat. But again, he's rolling out to his right. And this time now he's on a full move, okay? This time the lower body looks good, but he doesn't ever really get his shoulders totally around, okay, to make this throw. It doesn't need to. I'm getting very nitpicky here, just because of the basis of the conversation right now. And he delivers the ball on time. He gets a great throw, okay? But again, just looking, from a trained eye of working with quarterbacks, okay, I just think, this is something that he's going to, have to work on it through his off season, this year, and with his with his trainers, with the team trainers. I'm sure he has personal trainers as well, as he gets into the off season. But getting that range of motion in his core, to torque his shoulders and hips is going to be a key factor of him continuing to develop from his rookie year into his second year.
No, I think you're right. And the difference here on this play, he actually does step into the throw, but then he doesn't have pressure in his face either, right?
True.
So it's
no doubt about it.
And it's an easier throw, this one, no question. And he makes it fine, but you see him step into the throw there, and that obviously improves his accuracy. But it's hard to compare apples to oranges last play and this play, no question.
Of course. Well, Doc Chao, I really appreciate it. Jason appreciates it. We thank you tremendously for your time coming in with us today. And I look forward to getting out in New York or San Diego with you. You could get me into some of the hot spots like you've done over the past couple decades with me. We always have a great time together, and I certainly appreciate it. For fans, anyone who's a fantasy fan, who's a betting fan of pro football. If you want a great resource to learn about injuries and get, a great assessment of what's going on, make sure you follow profootballdoc.com, at Twitter at profootballdoc, and he's also on FanDuel platform and Outkick.com as well.
Hey, Jason, did you notice that veteran move there? That was an absolute vet move.
Fantastic tease right there. And
but on top of that, see, he was worried. He knows me well. He was worried I was going to say something about the stories. And so he had to prophylax it, like leak the news a little bit to get the framework and then blunt anything I might have. I can't believe you don't trust me, Jay. I can't believe that.
I've been in front of the cameras, in front of reporters. I've done my own PR for a long time. I know how.
That was a vet move.
I'd have to ask, as my job is to elaborate on what you guys might be talking about. But if we want to keep that for another time, we could as well.
It's a good story. We'll keep it for another time. See,
I love it.
My vet move is I know Jay well enough that maybe he doesn't want me to tell that story right now, so we'll let that.
Well, we want you back, so we want you back.
We'll bring you back, and we'll have more time to get into stories like that.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much, Doc. Have a great day.
Great Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you and the family.
Thank you.
Oh, that was a great guest. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Doc. And obviously, I do my dabbling in fantasy, Jay. I got to be honest, this is going to be a daily trip before I set my lineups is to Pro Football Doc. So thanks for setting that up. And, now with that hip situation, with that discomfort, we have to talk about the huge elephant in the room with what happened. And that was the benching, because that's what it was. And I want you to just kind of talk from a quarterback standpoint, and I know you're going to bring back some sort of anecdote, which I think we're going to remember, if you kind of can elaborate on that with what you noticed from that benching in your history in football.
Yeah, well, look, anytime an athlete gets benched, it's how that athlete reacts, to that situation, which is telling in his character and his confidence, and in, the way the team reacts going forward. So, we've always talked about here how, we love Tua's character. We love his makeup. We love, the confidence that he has. And that's something that he's going to have to show now, coming off of that, because, anytime, you get pulled out of a game, number one, you're pissed off that, your performance wasn't up to par. So, from an introspective view, you're pissed off at yourself for not performing and giving the coach the excuse to take you out. And then number two, you got teammates looking at you and saying, hey, we know we weren't all, performing that well also. Okay, but what are we going to do as a whole? What are you going to do as our leader to come back and right the ship again and get us back on track? And I just it reminds me of my rookie year, and it was another lefty quarterback. So my rookie year was 1994. I was playing with the Philadelphia Eagles, and it was week 5 or 6. We traveled out to San Francisco, and George Seifert, 49ers. We were playing them. I think they were 3-1, 4-1 at the time. We actually had a very good record. We were competing for the top spot in the NFC East at the time as well. And the top spot back then in the NFC East was actually a winning record. So as opposed to right now. They were all really good teams back then. But we went out, the Eagles, and we absolutely dominated San Francisco. And, towards the end of the game, I think it was 40-8 was the final score. But towards the end of the game, George Seifert pulled Steve Young, who, Hall of Fame lefty quarterback. A lot of comparisons were made from Tua being, lefty, a good athlete. A lot of comparisons were made to Steve Young. But for fans that remember that, Steve Young got pulled, and it was explosive on the sidelines. He came out and he got into a jawing match with Seifert on the sidelines, really ripped into him. And you knew that, look, he was pissed off at himself, but he was also pissed off at the coach for kind of pulling him out in that situation and not allowing him, to finish the game and right the ship at that time. Now, a little bit different situation. Steve Young at that time in 1994, he had been the starting quarterback for a few years. He was already a proven guy in the NFL. He already proved himself. So there was no question of whether he was going to, come back and be the starter the next game. Okay, but just that, that psychology of getting pulled from a game, rubbed him the wrong way. Okay, and what they did, what they ended up doing that season was Steve Young came back. The offense got right behind him. He didn't lose his confidence. He got pissed off. He showed his feelings on the sidelines, and it was, something that was very controversial at the time of him and Seifert getting into a jawing match. But what did he do? He came back the next week. He went on to win 10 games in a row that season. They actually lost the last game of the season in a game that they didn't need, and I think Young only played about a quarter of that game, just to save everyone for the playoffs. And they went on and won the Super Bowl, and the famous Steve Young getting the monkey off his back Super Bowl where he threw for 6 touchdown passes, still a Super Bowl record. So that's something I would like to see from Tua now. Am I saying the Dolphins are going to go on and win the rest of their games and go to the Super Bowl and win? That would be unbelievable. But I don't know if that's, quite where this team is just yet. Okay. But what I want to see is how Tua is going to react and how the offense is going to react coming off of, that situation. Having a bad game, getting benched towards the end of the game, and now coming back to be the starter for next week and moving forward throughout the season. What are they going to do and how are they going to react? And, that's something, I have a lot of confidence in Tua and his character and his makeup and his confidence that he could do it and get the team back on track. Okay, but that's something I want to see over the next, obviously this game and over the next few weeks going forward.
I would wholeheartedly agree with that, Jay, because, you want your leader to, it's great when, how is he going to do after a win? How are you going to do after things are going great? Show me the guy that reacts to adversity and after when taking a step backwards. If he could take 3 steps forward, that's a net positive. So I'm really looking forward to that development, what's going on in between the ears, which we do know Tua has that gumption to come back and really have, give me 75% of what Steve Young did. after that. But it's an opportunity for him to show us what he could do. Speaking of opportunity, there were missed opportunities, and you're going to bring up some tape on what was missed at the Denver game.
Yeah, there were. A lot of people, post game talk about the Chan Gailey offense and not taking shots downfield and not making the plays. This is something they got to execute now, okay? Because there were opportunities out there, and Denver, Denver came out and played a lot of man coverage, a lot of kind of combination man coverage. So what I mean by that is, they played man on the outside, but they had different combinations of how they protected over the beyond the man coverage on the receivers. Sometimes they kind of matched up 3-on-2 on the inside receivers. Sometimes they played a robber coverage. Sometimes they blitzed 5 and played straight man-to-man with safety over the top. Okay, but this is something, unless this offense is able to make plays against man-to-man, unless these receivers are able to separate, and unless Tua is able to deliver the ball and make these plays and make these defenses pay for pressuring and playing man-to-man, you're going to see that continue throughout the season. So, I'm going to show you a few plays where they missed opportunities, but they're there, and if they can make these plays go the defense kills rather than in aggressive mode, which is where you saw Denver play for a good portion of the game. Okay, so we'll start off right from the first play of the game, and we touched base on it last week in talking to Aronde Gadsden of how we opened up against the San Diego Chargers, back in 2000, and this was the same exact play. Little stutter go on the outside. They were looking to come out and make a big play, first play of the game, and it was there. They had opportunities to make it, okay? But, it takes 11 guys on your side in order to make these plays. Now, we touched base on Monday, okay, the jump off that Bradley Chubb got off the edge and able to upset the timing. Now, ideally, you'd want to just drop back, get your 4 or 5 steps in and deliver the ball on time. Okay. But this rush in here and this inside move on Jackson, getting pressure into his face right away, upsets his timing. It takes him off of looking for his number one guy out here in Parker, and comes back to Grant on the bottom side. But he was a little bit late. The timing was off. It was a tough throw, but the opportunities were there, as you see. Okay, just go forward right. Okay, let me just go back just a hair. Okay, you got receivers right here that got step on the D-backs. Okay, and if he's on time and he's able to deliver the ball on time, okay, 2-yard separation on a D-back is something that is rare in this league, especially over the top of guys. Okay, and these are throws that you saw Tua make in Alabama, the over the top throws to Ruggs and Judy, and one of the things that propelled Tua to become a first round pick and a top 5 pick were these throws, the downfield throws, and so we know he's accurate in doing that. Okay, but you also got to give him the rhythm and timing to deliver that ball as well. Okay, so it's twofold. It's actually threefold. It's on the offensive lineman to protect. It's on the receivers to continue, getting the separation. It's on Tua to deliver the ball. Okay, so he's a little bit off timing. Okay, ball sails over Grant's head. I think Grant kind of misjudged it a little bit. It looks like he slowed down just a hair. Okay, as the ball sailed over his head, but missed opportunity number 1 on the first play of the game. Okay.
That was really unfortunate too. I mean, Parker should have had that play go his way, but it was disrupted.
Yep. And look, and Grant still had a shot on the bottom side as well. If that ball is delivered, if it's and like I said, it's much easier to make that throw when you're on time and you don't have pressure. You don't have to move away, 3 steps away from from pressure and throw it late, to get the ball downfield. So, that's on everyone. That's on the guys up front. That's on Tua. That's on, and the receivers did their job, getting open. Just got to get a chance for it. Okay. We're going to come back 2 plays later. Okay. 3rd and 6. This is again first drive of the game. Okay, another big opportunity downfield, another one to Grant. Okay, and this is a play that is actually a great play design based on what the defense was showing. And I'm going to stop it right here and kind of just touch base about what I talked about before of how Denver played a lot of kind of matchup man situations. So you can see right here on the outside receiver, you got man-to-man right here, Grant with the D-back over here. Okay, straight man-to-man on Parker. Now, what they also did when they did play man was they kind of cheated Justin Simmons. Even though he's the free safety in the middle of the field, they always cheated him towards Parker to get a little bit of help on that side. Okay, so they're telling you right now, Jakeem Grant, you got to beat us. Okay, and aside from that, then what they did was they kind of did a little matchup 3-on-3, 3-on-2. Okay, with these defenders matching up on the 2 inside receivers right here. So depending on the route combination that they do, okay, these guys are going to kind of in and out with a little help over the top. Okay, by these 3 guys. So you got man-to-man on the outside. You got a linebacker who's actually rushing if Ahmed stays in and blocks. Okay, if Ahmed releases, which he ends up doing, the linebacker ends up staying with him and peeling out. You got man-to-man on the outside here. Okay, with no one over the top. Okay, so if you watch this play design, okay, you're going to see, okay, a little dig route, stutter go. Okay, so a little dig stutter we used to call. Okay, where he's running like an in cut. He gets the defender to bite, okay, and then takes off. So it's a double move over the top, and watch the separation he gets, okay, right here as he's going full speed. Deep defender's just recovering, and you got 0 help over the top with Simmons cheating over the top of Parker over here. Now, once again, a little bit of pressure up front, okay. He got a clean escape getting out of the pocket. Roll to his left, in his comfort zone and where he does. This is a ball I want to see Tua deliver, okay? And the ball, with him coming on the move, running towards the line of scrimmage, ends up sailing on him. And look at the separation that you got right here, okay? Speed guy getting over the top. Now, with throws like this, for Tua, this is a situation, that I thought, especially in today's NFL. Okay, this is a situation you can't overthrow this if you're a quarterback. Okay, because you got you just did a double move. You got a defender in a recover position. Okay, what I mean by that is he's beat by a couple yards and he's recovering. He's just hauling ass to catch back up to the receiver. Okay, so he's not looking back at the ball. Okay, he's not. He's never going to find the ball in the air. This is a ball that an underthrow is okay. Okay, so I'd rather underthrow this, okay, and end up getting the pass interference with Grant coming back to the ball and the defender kind of running through him because he's never getting his eyes around. When he's in recovery mode, okay, you can't overthrow this guy. You gotta put it on him or slightly underthrow him to give him a chance to make this play. Okay, and then again, we see the ball just kind of sail over the top out of reach. Okay? But, this is something, again, experience-wise, Tua gets into these situations. You see a defender in recovery mode, give your guy a chance to make that play. Okay, don't let the ball sail out of bounds on that.
If that ball was just thrown a little bit more to the center of the field or even just towards the hash marks as opposed to the sidelines at 6.
And exactly. And he had a ton of room, the whole field to just pull him to the inside. Okay, to like I say, you don't have to get him perfectly in stride on that play. okay, because you got no help over the top, and you got a recovery, D-back in recovery mode. Okay, so those are the plays that you got to, give your guy a chance, no matter what, no matter what you have to do. So here we are. Okay, they're getting pressure off the weak side, and this is again, same play that we were just talking about before. Parker is going to run a deep cross over here. Okay, you get pressure off the edge. They end up picking it up. Tua moves up in the pocket. Okay, but just misses on that ball. And again, this is early in the game. You make plays like this, it gives your offense so much confidence, through the rest of the game. And great job again, Tua moving up in the pocket. Okay, finding the soft spot. Okay, and just watch his action and watch what happens in the pocket here. And this is what I was talking about, about the pressure rush. Okay, attacking his strong side and forcing him, okay, to move back and escape back out to his right side. Okay, but I just want you to go back and just watch this full play. Okay, and we'll slow it down. Okay, great job coming back and getting this block off the edge. Give him time. He steps up in the pocket, and when he makes his throw, he's kind of falling off a little bit. Okay, it forces the ball to sail just a little bit off of Parker's fingertips. Could he made that play? Yeah, he could have. He got his hand on it. It would have been a tremendous catch. Okay, a catch by guy OG with his triple X size gloves. Routinely made.
Knew that was coming.
But again, not an easy catch, not an easy one to pull down. He made a great effort for it. Okay, one that I would expect Tua to get a little bit more on his body. Okay, had room in the pocket. He did have to move a little bit, but that's a play that he makes. It's a play that he's made in the past, and I'm going to show you. Okay, we talked about. I went back through some of his highlights. Okay, and we're just going to pull up a highlight from 2008 Alabama against Tennessee, and I want you to watch just his pocket movement and the same similar type rush. Okay, similar type of pocket. He makes the same movement and steps up, steps back to his left, delivers a strike to Ruggs down the field, touchdown. All right, look at that movement, same movement. Okay, same step up away from this pressure block. Okay, step back over to his right to the soft spot in the zone. Get his feet underneath him, and this is something that he didn't do in the play on Sunday. He didn't get his feet back underneath him. Okay, and this is one. Okay, this is what everyone loved about Tua. Okay, he can make that move. He could get into the pocket. Okay, and he keeps his eyes downfield. He's got his guy downfield. He's got pressure coming right in his face. He knows he's about to get hit. And he delivers the ball and takes that shot. Okay, no problem. Now, the interception on the rollout, you can see he shied away from this same hit. Okay, and the ball dropped on him with that. So this is the tool that I want to see him get back to. And whether that's a confidence issue, whether that's an injury issue, whether that's just getting back into feel of the game. Okay, this is the Tua that was drafted number 5. This is the Tua that everyone loved coming out of Alabama, and this is the Tua that I want to see going forward with the Miami Dolphins.
That would be great to see. And when you mentioned that little stutter step that he did, it's almost like the physical form of the mental hesitation. Where what you showed there at the Alabama play, complete fluidity, the whole process from snap to getting hit, that was fine. That was just the follow through. Everything looked perfect. Whereas, back at the Bronco game, that yips almost. Maybe it's the confidence, maybe it's the hip, but to me, what you and what the doc have been saying, it's almost very fixable and encouraging for improvement immediately, almost.
It is, absolutely. It's someone who has done it before, okay? And we fully expect to do it at the next level, Okay, sometimes it takes just a comfort level of stepping up and to that next level. The competition's a little bit better. It's not he doesn't have the 5-star recruits running against college defenders. Okay, these are the best of the best in the whole world that play on this field on Sundays. Okay, and it takes an adjustment period to feel comfortable playing at that level. Okay, but like I said, I'm very optimistic that he's shown he could do it in the past, and he's gonna, with his character, with his makeup, with his confidence, he's gonna continue to progress. Okay, and feel more comfortable so that he could do this again and make these throws. Okay, again, let's just see. Steps up to avoid pressure, back to his right. Okay, and now he makes the throw falling away, okay, to his right side, trying to throw back to his left. Now, this is a much more difficult throw than the one we saw in Alabama. Okay, the one in Alabama was more down the field in front of him. Okay, this is moving back to his right, throwing back to his left. Much more difficult throw to make, but one that I know he can make. And, when he does make these throws, is going to take this offense, up to a whole new level.
It's a progression. I mean, it's part of the process, as well as the offensive line, who, they had the worst game of the year. That's just obvious. The trenches on both sides did not play great, but, very encouraging on what Tua needs to go to the drawing board in practice. And look, as the doc said, if he's 90 or 87% of Tua, is still really good. Even 95% of Tua is fantastic.
Yep, no doubt about it. Now, this is a play right here. Okay, this one I put on Tua. Okay, this is one he just missed. He didn't see it. Okay, and the offensive line, he ends up getting sacked on this play. The offensive line gets gets the demerit for a sack in this game. For another sack. Okay, but this one was on Tua, and we're going to see again. Okay, this is a man-to-man defense again. Okay, now they didn't bring the same pressure. Okay, actually they did bring 5-man pressure. They brought 5-man pressure up here. They were manned up over here. You can see the 2-on-2 situation, okay, over here on the weak side. And this is something that came up, and I'm going to show it on this play and on the next play, okay. Whenever Miami got into this bunch set, okay, if there was no player up here pressing the point, they were in a zone coverage. But the second that they got up here and pressed the point player, okay, and something that defenses try to do to, offenses that are in bunch sets that want to run, crisscross releases. Okay, a lot of times they'll jam the point guy to try and break up that that smooth release transition. Okay, now the Dolphins end up having a perfect play call for this coverage, because what happens is you got a point here, okay, who's staying man to man on the point person right here. You got 2 defenders right here that are going to be playing inside and out coverage on these 2 receivers releasing off the ball. So you can see him kind of inside leverage on the inside receiver. Okay, he's outside leverage on the outside receivers. So if these 2 receivers crisscross, they're going to pass it off. Okay, so as soon as the first guy releases inside, this guy is going to take him. Okay, if they both go vertical, okay, then they're going to stay matched up. Now, what they end up doing is one of them ends up coming in, across, okay, and the inside receiver, Parker, starts vertical and then ends up going to the flag, okay, and Justin Simmons is just your free safety. He is, again, cheating towards over the top of Parker, but he's not going to be in a position to make this play, okay, and I'm just going to go forward and stop it right there. Okay, you got this defender who saw the inside release start to come down and chase him, okay, and you got Parker running a flag route with 0 coverage back there. Okay, at this point in the play, Tua is still in the pocket. He could still make this play, and you'll see it from the end zone camera. Okay, yeah, they did get a little pressure, but he had a clean enough pocket to see this and make this play. Okay, and he just missed it. Okay, and these are plays, again, you design these plays up. A guy who runs wide open, Chan Gailey gets gets criticized for not calling plays where they could get downfield, and this is here, and this is just a miss by the quarterback. Didn't see it, didn't see the rotation. Okay, came back. Still had an opportunity. If he didn't see this, if he got off balance in the pocket, he still could have come back knowing it's man to man with Grant on an under route. And if he hits him, okay, and he does get a step in front of the defender, if he does hit him late as he steps up in the pocket, okay, I'm just going to go forward again real quick. If he does hit him in stride here, you got room to run with a speed guy. Now, chances are he's probably going to make that play, okay? But I want to see him make that play.
Right.
Okay, and if you deliver to him on time. But again, let's just go back and look at Parker, okay, running free with a defender who knows he messed up, just turning it around to try and get back over here. Simmons, again, as free safety, is not in any position to cover a flag route going towards the sideline, okay? So that's just a missed opportunity right there, okay? That could have been, again, a big play. This is still early in the game, okay? Well, let's just, what was it, 7-0? You're up 7-0. You got a chance, to drive down, go up 14-0, potentially. If you make a play like this and continue on in the drive, okay, but you see Parker just running free, hand up in the air, okay, he knows it, okay, but Tua, again, and we'll see the end zone camera, he's got time and he's got, it's a tight pocket, it's a quick rush, okay, but he could step up and if he saw Parker, he can make that throw right there from a clean pocket.
Okay? It almost looks like he was looking at him.
Yeah, and that's what's perplexing to me. That he didn't see it. I don't know if he just had his eyes underneath. Okay, if he was looking for the quick out, with the point receiver running the quick out, knowing that he was in man-to-man situation. Okay, but when you have these plays dialed up, you got to give your guy a shot. And exhaust your looks downfield. Okay, and then and it's fine. Rookie quarterback, you missed the opportunity. Don't make a bad play out of it. Okay, try and run through. Make a play with your feet. It's third down. You don't want to. You don't want to turn a missed opportunity into a bad decision. Okay, by once you miss that opportunity, it's not there. Don't try and force it late. Don't try and do something stupid. Okay. He moved in the pocket. He saw a lane. Okay. And that's fine. Trying to run for the first down away from pressure at that point. Okay. But again, going back, and I'm sure, he's looking at film on Monday and saying, man, I really should have seen that one.
That would have been nice at that point of the game, on the road, already up, to potentially put yourself in position to get 10 points on the board, 14, what could you do?
Yep. And now I'm just going to fast forward. These were all plays, the 4 plays right there that we showed in the first quarter of the game where they had opportunities to make big plays, okay, get the offense going. And, making plays like that early in the game gives the whole offense confidence. It gives Chan, a much better standpoint, to be aggressive in calling plays, going forward. Sometimes, you miss those plays, you miss those opportunities. Coaches get a little bit more conservative with the play calls. You add a few sacks in the game. You want to start getting the ball out quick, hit the underneath routes, and you don't give yourself a chance to, get back to those plays, those downfield plays. Okay, and now we're going to go to last play of the game, last offensive play of the game for Miami. Okay, and this is the interception. Now Fitzy did an unbelievable job driving the team from the 1 yard line, getting them in position. 1 minute 10 left on the clock. It's 3rd and 8. This is the play, to tie the game up, put it into overtime potentially. Okay, and the play was there. Okay, but it's 2 guys could have helped this play out a little bit more. And I'm going to show you, okay, you see this bunch set again, okay, just like on the last play. And what do you see on the point position right here, Jason?
Point on point. And the same thing, but just on the other side, the last play.
Exactly. Okay. So you got man-to-man, you got press coverage over here, you got press coverage right here on the point man of the bunch set. Okay. You got 2-on-2 over the top. Now they're a little bit different set here. Okay. They're not bracketing inside and out over these two guys. Okay, because they changed up their coverage just a little bit. They actually brought 4-man pressure, so they have an extra guy uh, in uh, in coverage. So what they end up doing is playing kind of a robber situation. Okay, and what I mean by one robber, okay, is you got a free safety in the middle. Okay, and Simmons is going to roll back to the middle over here, and from his free safety position, you got man across the board, 5-on-5 man. But okay, when guys play man in a robber situation, they always want outside leverage to force the receiver back to the inside because there's going to be a freed up linebacker looking for any inside breaking routes. So he's kind of zoning up in the middle, okay, looking for any routes that are breaking back towards the middle. So, you know, the defenders know this. They're going to stay outside leverage. They're going to make sure they don't get beat to the outside, okay, but they give up the inside breaking routes because they know they have help, okay, from the linebacker position and from the free safety rolling back to the middle of the field, okay. So now in this play, okay, what you had was you had a quick flat route by Perry from the point, okay, and you had these two receivers. I think that was Gesicki and Parker running what we call a scissor route. Okay, so it's a post from the outside and a flag from the inside receiver. So it's a scissor route on the top. Now, when I'm Devontae Parker over here, you got a tight formation. Okay, I know I'm running a post route. Okay, and I see that I have outside leverage man over the top of me. Okay, so what I want to do as a receiver and as a quarterback, what I want to tell my receiver to do is make sure you press this guy as far outside as you could go before you take it back up into the post. Okay, because the one guy that's going to take this play away with this leverage, okay, you got him beat on the post no matter what you do. Okay, but you don't want to beat him too quick to the inside because where's his help?
Right there with
Right
the ball.
here. Okay, the safety over the top coming over to make that play. Okay, number two, okay, if I'm Ryan Fitzpatrick, okay, I want to also make sure I know I got this guy. I know I'm going to him on the post. Okay, so what do I got to do? I got to make sure I hold this free safety in the middle and see that he doesn't come over the top of it. Okay, now two things that happened here. Okay, Fitzpatrick ended up looking left all the way. He looked right to it. You know, he kind of knew it. And I think, you know, sometimes you get into these situations, you know, you got to play dialed up. It's the right play call. You know that, you know, it should be there, but you press it and you don't take, you don't play the play with patience, and you try and, you know, push it right there. Okay, and I think this is what happened a little bit from Parker and from Fitz. Okay, seeing that the plays, you know, could and should be there, but rushing both the route and the read just a little bit. So as we go forward, I'm going to slow it down. Okay, we'll come slow motion on it so you can see. Okay, again, you're going to see Perry come off the line. He's going to break to the outside. You're going to see Gesicki run a flag route. Okay, and you're going to see Parker come off the line right in here. Now he's attacking the defender, but look at the outside leverage that he's maintaining over here. He's staying all the way to the outside, and he breaks real quick, okay, gets all the way in almost to the hash, okay, where Simmons can make that play, okay. What I'd love to see him do right here is really push him out to the numbers, okay, because this guy is staying, he's going to stay on his outside leverage, okay, and if he gets all the way out to the numbers and comes right up this B, there's no way that Simmons could come across and make that play, okay? So that's something the receiver can help out with, okay, by running the route just a little bit more fine-tuned, okay? And then also something that Fitzpatrick can do All right, knowing that there's a free safety in the middle of the field, knowing that you want to hit this post route over here, if he just holds that defender with his eyes a little bit instead of staring him down, all right, and throwing it right in there. Okay, another play, hey, you had opportunities early in the game to extend your lead, and then you had an opportunity right here at the end of the game to tie it up and potentially put it into overtime. So the chances are there, the opportunities are there. Okay, the execution gotta come together, and the confidence is going to explode from there. If they can make one or two of these plays, a game going forward, it'll take defenses out of their pressure man-to-man defenses. It'll help open up the run game a little bit more by softening the defense up a little bit, and it'll give this offense so much more confidence moving forward.
Oh, we're just an ineffective sell almost, or lack thereof, on that last play by Parker. But you mentioned it, the opportunities are there. These are tough losses to see, but they're one possession and they're learning from losses. So there's a lot of confidence, I think, going into, a Jet game where you need to get right on an unvictorious team in the division. And I do think that this is a terrific, as mentioned, opportunity for Tua, the offensive line, the receivers, for this team to step up and say, last week was last week. What are you going to do now for the rest of the season? And I'm looking forward to enjoying some turkey and watching some football.
Of course. What's your favorite side dish?
It's no-brainer. It's a sweet potato pie with a ton of marshmallows on top, Jay. You throw that in the oven, you get a little crust on that marshmallow.
You go the candied yams.
It's exactly right. Now, what about you?
I'm a stuffing guy. I love a good stuffing, but it's got to be a good homemade stuffing, like my sister-in-law makes. She makes a great stuffing for us, so I'm looking forward to enjoying that.
Oh, that's fantastic. And are you a turkey guy, or do you circumvent the turkey?
Oh, no, I love turkey.
Atta guy.
I love turkey.
That's you need
and
the
I'm
turkey.
looking forward. Thanksgiving always brings back some good memories. For me in my Dolphin uniform. Going to Dallas, winning that Thanksgiving game. That's always a big treat. Bringing back those memories of 2003.
That was one of the most enjoyable Dolphin games in my memory I've ever watched. I think you accounted for 4. You rushed for a touchdown in that game, as well as threw for a hat trick to Chris Chambers.
That's correct. Yep.
Oh, that was one fantastic game. And the Leon Lett 1992 missed field goal, sliding into the end zone. My family said, I guess this guy likes Miami Dolphins football.
Another great memory.
Oh, yes. That was one of the tops. That was one of the initial TV moments in New York that just solidified my fandom. But, hey, what a great get with Dr. Chao today. And Pro Football Doc is just a fantastic place to get. I don't care what you like football. Regular watching, fantasy, gaming, just knowing on who to root for, who might play, might not play. What a fantastic guy, and I really got to hear that story. I'm very looking forward to it.
We'll get that one offline after this. Jason, you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy with the family and all those PhinManiacs out there. You as well. Have a great, happy Thanksgiving, and we're looking forward to another. It's Jet Week. It's Jet Week this week, so we got a big weekend after the holiday. Get your leftovers ready for the Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets.
Absolutely. And thanks, as always, to Jay Fiedler for breaking down this film. And happy and healthy to everyone out there. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
All right. Welcome to the Pro Football Doc Command Center here. This is where it all happens on Sundays. You can see we got a crew of people and all the games on. This is how we get a head start for next week, and we get all the information on the field view, injury index, and all the homework. We do it all for you so that you don't have to. Whether it's fantasy, DFS, or gambling, make yourself a winner. Join ProFootballDoc.com for absolutely free. Email and a password is all you need. No credit card.